Hey guys, and this is Creative Karma, and welcome back to my room. And in the spirit of the season, I decided to be dressed up because my last video before Halloween, and Halloween happens to be one of my favorite all-time holidays. But to get into the subject for today's video, I wanted to go with something that has actually been happening to me a lot since I've, been around. People are actually always coming to me for advice about things, even before I did vlogging or anything like that. There's all advice columns in almost every magazine since the world has had magazines nearly, it seems like. Everybody's looking to somebody else for advice on how to do something in their life. There's book after book of advice and guides and tools people can use to help them navigate through whatever it is in life that is holding them back or holding them down. Each person, though, sees the same problem from a different direction, so not all advice about a subject will work for everyone who reads it. And if by some miracle that happens to happen, then you, sir or madam, are one very lucky person, because not all advice has worked for me over the years that I've ever gotten. I always have to change it to fit my perspective. And there are a lot of times I've gone out searching for advice, and I've gotten loads of feedback from various people. However, it is usually from the perspective of someone who didn't have a disability, or someone who didn't have a disability at all. You know, either they don't have mine, or they have a different one, or something. And all the best they can do is guess at advice that would be good for me. And if I ever shot down their idea, it tended to make them feel bad and wonder why I'd even asked them for advice in the first place, if I wasn't going to take it or even consider it. So I decided to try my best to come up with advice I wish I had personally gotten in my life of discovery about my disability. Now, again, as I state, a lot of this may not apply to you. It may be advice you wish you'd already gotten, or something you've already heard from somebody. But this is just from my perspective. So, number one, the moment you start to have troubles, doubts, or someone who seriously cares about you starts asking you about a possible disability, really listen and look into it yourself immediately. I can't tell you how much easier my life might have been if the first time my mother had come to me with info about Asperger's syndrome, and I just blew her off like she was crazy. At the time, I was in college and working very hard to create my own identity for myself. It was the first time I'd ever been away from home, away from my mother and her rules, and a time where I could experience stuff on my own terms. And I fought long and hard before I finally decided to let go and took her advice. By then, I'd suffered alone and my life had gotten really hard to manage. So, give it a shot, if nothing else. Number two, a diagnosis isn't the end of the world. It might not feel like it at the time, but the world is going to keep on spitting after you're diagnosed, as harsh as that seems to be. No one's going to know about it when you walk out the door. There's not going to be branded on your forehead. None of your friends or family is going to know unless you decide to tell them about it. You can still go on with your life, be the person that you are. It just doesn't have to change the view about yourself and who you are and what you want to do with your life. Number three, don't say, if only I wasn't feeling your disability here. I say this because if you didn't have the disability that you do, if you have one, then you wouldn't be the person you are now, especially if you found out at a young age. Imagine all the friends that you currently have, and those friends that you've met because you have your disability, or in spite of your disability. Now, if you didn't have the disability you did, then more than likely they wouldn't be your friends. You wouldn't have ever met them. You might not even have the same hobbies that you do now if you didn't have your disability. In summary, you wouldn't be the same person with the same experiences. A lot of my best memories are with friends I met because I was disabled. I wouldn't be vlogging about my experiences and writing a book about it without having a disability in the first place. My life would have been really different, and yours would be too. Number four, you are capable. No matter what disability you have or how serious it affects your daily life, whether it's physically or mentally, you could do some great things with your life. In the book that I'm writing, I've discovered a lot of very famous and wealthy people in the world how have disabilities, and they've made it. They've proven that having a disability doesn't have to hold you back. There are children in the world who are incapable of speech, but they found a voice through doing artwork. Others contemplate are complete shut-ins, and they've created amazing technology. If it wasn't for one disabled little boy, we wouldn't have the game of Pokemon today, and its many different versions. There's something out there for you to do. All you have to do is find it. Number 5. Bad days are gonna happen, and it's alright to be mad or upset. Because, from my personal experience, there are many days I don't even feel like getting out of bed. My whole day is thrown out the window because of my depression or my anxiety. However, I found out when these days happen, I just have to tell myself, it's okay to take care of yourself today. Just make sure you get out of bed, eat, take a shower, do something fun and positive, and most importantly, don't beat yourself up. I feel like a lot of people don't understand how hard it is just to keep positive on a day-to-day basis when you're disabled. And that's okay. Just know you can always pick up what you wanted to do the next day, and it's alright to take a day off. It's very important to take care of yourself. And on that note, number 6, take mental health days. Oh my goodness, this is so important to me personally. It has been a lifesaver a lot of the times. For those of us who are sort of able, I'll say enough, to have a job, part-time or full, this might be a little harder to slide in there because your days and during the week are really full. But I fully encourage taking one day a week to pamper yourself, whatever that means. If it's pampering your body, great. If it's pampering your mind, whatever. But it's a mental health day to take a break from whatever it is you're doing. Don't get dressed if you don't want to. Stay in your pajamas all day long. If you want to color or spend the day watching a whole TV series or a show, or you want to play a game, just go for it. Allow yourself time to relax, and it'll make the rest of your time and the rest of your week so much more relaxing and easier to make it through. If you can't do it once a week where you dedicate a whole day to do it, maybe every other week or once a month, or even set aside a few hours one day a week where you forget about your have-tos and you get to focus on your want-tos. And finally, number 7, don't listen to the haters. Now, this sounds like some old school diss gone wrong, and you'd be right. It's been around forever about don't hate the play, hate the game, and all this random stuff. Mental health isn't really looked at or something people take seriously. There are so many things out there that people say to try and downplay how you feel, make you feel bad about asking for help, or even talking to your friends or family about your disability and what you need from them. Later on, I do plan to talk about the way mental health is treated, but for now, just know it's valid to feel what you feel and how you feel it right now. You have the right to stand up for yourself, to ask for help, or even just to ask for some patience with other people. No matter what they say to you, tell yourself that you're good enough and you're worthy enough for people in your life who won't try and make you feel bad for something that you can't control or fix. I know from personal experience, if it was Harry Potter land and I had a magic wand that I could mentally and just take away my mental, issues, a lot of times I would do that. On my worst days, I wish it never happened to me. But then I go back and I remember one of my own rules. Don't wish it away, because I wouldn't be the same person if I wasn't. So, just keep in mind, you're worth it. It's okay to be who you are and to accept your disability. It's not that you need to get rid of it, it's that other people need to learn to accept you and know that this is the person you are and you're happy with who you are. If you're not happy with who you are, go over it and see how you can fix it. If it is fixable. If it's not fixable, leave it alone. Don't try and change it because you want it to be gone. Just learn how to live your life around it. If it is fixable and it's something you really want to make different in your life, go for it. It's all up to your choice and your decision. And that's pretty much all the advice I have for right now, because this list could have gone on forever and hours, because there's advice for all these different scenarios and situations and day-to-day life stuff that it could take all day, all night even, to do. And I just wanted to sort of touch on the surface of things instead of getting down into the nitty-gritty of it all. But that's all for this video. If you like what you heard, hit the like button down below. And if you really like it and you want to hear more, hit the subscribe button. And I wish you all a very happy Halloween, no matter what you're doing, whether you're a trick-or-treater, whether you stay at home and hide from the kids, or whether you go out and have dinner with friends or family, or maybe you're having a kick-ass Halloween party. Either way, have a great time, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!